here we are again, working on the old work truck. Now, with all the setbacks from the rear end and the headers, I've been waiting on doing this for a while. Now, what has happened is I've been working on a lot of projects, as some of y'all have seen through all the videos, and I've been putting new tune-ups and everything on all those. Well, even though these plug wires and plugs are still good, the coil seems to be working fair. The ignition module did go out, so I feel it's time for a full tune-up. Now, these plugs still almost look like new. Plug wires seem fairly good. Don't see an issue with them. And the coil cap and rotor, well, they're probably still good. I'll keep them as a spare. So, I'm going to go ahead and give this whole thing a nice little tune-up. But, I've also had another little project for this on the back burner. Because a little while ago, now it's been a while, actually, come to think of it now, is that I picked up some cool stuff when I bought a bundle of car parts. Some of it for old motors, and some of it for some other projects. Well, I got a nice set of valve covers, which I had to go out and eventually find the matching air cleaner on eBay. So, I worked them out, made them look a lot better, and, well, I want them on this truck. So, these valve covers are going on another truck. This air cleaner is going on a completely different project. Since it does have the freaking shine chick, it's going to fit a different project a lot better. Now, I'm going to go ahead and basically start the disassembly. Get these valve covers off. Then, I got the plug wires off. Once I put the valve covers on, let's put everything back together, and this thing will be tuned up and ready to go. Before I put new plug wires and plugs on it, I'm going to go ahead and change the cap for the cool. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead and move the air cleaner and give me more room, so I'll put the other air cleaner on here in a little bit. But I'm using basically the same, I am using the same Hypertech 3000 volt coil kit, so change that out, then work on everything else. Alright, so for those of you who never used one of these Hypertech coils, well, there's only one little trick about them. And that is they come with plastic screws. You need to use plastic screws. If you don't, you're going to have an odd misfire that's going to be hard to find. Ask me how I know. Alright, so the bad luck still continues with the work truck. And let me show you why. Now, while repolishing this, you can see this piece right here is cracked. Epoxied it back together. So what happened when I bought this off eBay, this is actually dented in a little bit. I was hoping I could warm it up and kind of pop it out a little bit, because otherwise the air filter was going to snag right there. Well, it cracked out completely. Now, while installing the valve covers, you see that hairline crack? Well, it cracked there now. So, hopefully it won't leak. But, I don't see it cracked on the other side, and I don't feel it. But, this side feels fine. This side's cracked and slightly raised, so hopefully it won't leak. So I'm going to let it run for a minute and see what happens. Alright, so it did start leaking there a little bit, not a lot. So what I'm going to do, take a long spreader bar, usually on steel valve covers, put it on there, spread it across there, hopefully tighten it back down. Now, I've actually done this a lot to aluminum valve covers over the years, because usually I use stainless steel bolts, and usually they're a bit long for the valve covers, so I use that as a washer, but also kind of spread the pressure from the bolt across the valve cover like you would on a steel one, which should have done here, because it probably wouldn't have cracked out. Or it probably would have, because these are older cast. So hopefully this will take care of my problem. Alright, so the tune-up is complete. The valve covers are on. Now what I did was clean the inside of this valve cover after I took it off. JB welded the crack because it was bigger than what I thought. Siliconed the gasket to the valve cover, let it dry. That way it would stay exactly in place, and there's plenty of silicone. Now silicone the bottom of the gasket quite a bit. Tighten this down, let the silicone smash out so I know that it was covered, because it only leaked a little bit around the crack after it broke, but it's leaking in the corner fairly bad actually. So this valve cover may be warped. So since I know I can't tighten it down enough to stop it from leaking, because it may be warped, and silicone it. It's not the best ideal, but I've done it before. It's going to have to work. And if it doesn't and this thing starts leaking, because what kills me is this thing does not use oil between oil changes. Never has. So if I start leaking, I'm going to be upset. You have to get a different set of valve covers, and air cleaner. I may put the other air cleaner back on it, but at least get a different set of valve covers. And these may become wall hangers. It sucks because I put all that effort into these valve covers. So you can see they're painted to match the engine, which I painted several episodes ago. So I like the way it looks. And they're actually taller than the tall valve covers I took off by 1/2 inch. So they look bigger, which I like. But the way it seems, this aluminum on these valve covers are having an issue. If they don't seal up and they start leaking, they're going to have to go. And this truck is continuing to have bad luck. Now, I quit working on it for years because it seemed like that was the best thing to do. Just quit working on it, it did fine. Work on all the other projects, get them going. Seems like every time I do something to this, something happens out of the blue. Like I said, that and that crack. The rear end, the headers. I don't know. Maybe I can eventually work the bad juju out of it. Who knows? But at least it's idling and running smooth. That's doing good. Does look better. So that's a plus. So tomorrow, after everything dries and cures, check it and make sure it doesn't leak. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, thanks for watching.